Niña Luna, Mami, as she was referred to by her family, was born on November 13, 1933, to Jose Luna and Carmen Guerra. She was the eldest of 5 children. At the age of 6, her mother passed away due to complications related to the birth of twins, who would later pass away as well. One at 15 days old, the other at 3 years old. Unable to care for the children, her father had to send them to an orphanage for a few months. However, he made sure to visit them every Thursday. Although she felt responsible for the care of her younger siblings, that responsibility was stronger for her brother David. As a child, Mommy was sick quite often. She had to have a few surgeries. But they never quite figured out what was wrong. Due to this caused her to become withdrawn and quiet, never asking much for herself, a trait that would follow her into her adulthood. As children, her father would not allow them to have friends, which only created a stronger friendship and bond between them, another trait that would follow as well. Being the eldest, Mommy was the only one to have a quinceañera. She was especially happy on that day. Her father owned the store in which she had to help during her free time. She said she enjoyed working there because it gave her the opportunity to work with the public, and she liked working with numbers. Throughout her life, Mommy was quick with math. You could give her any type of math problems, and she would come up with an answer right away. She did not need a calculator. She was great at bargaining or trying to sell anything, especially at yard sales. She definitely had a knack for being a salesperson. Mommy would meet Elias Delgadillo, our papi, during a play at the church she attended. She was 21 and he was 18. Mommy was already engaged with somebody else, but papi, being the joker that he was, made a bet with friends that he could capture her heart. Well, he was not aware that the joke was on him, because it was he who fell head over heels over her, and his heart now belonged to her. Because they were not on the same social level, Mommy was prohibited from seeing him. Their love grew so much, and everyone around them could see the love that they had for each other. They knew that they could not be apart, so they helped them elope. And they married on June 13th. Eventually, her father accepted their marriage, and they went to live with him. How was married life? Like most young couples, they thought their love was all they needed to get by. But by their first anniversary, their first daughter, Elizabeth, or as we all know her, Betty, was born. Bobby worked at the railroad, spending more than they were making. This was usually due to the fact that they loved going to the movies. 2 years later, Virginia was born. Bobby, of course, wanted a boy. So out of frustration of having another girl, and not wanting to hurt Mommy's feelings, Bobby did what any other husband would do. Banged his head on the wall, asked himself why another girl, then went in to kiss Mommy and acted like everything was okay. Third is the charm. Jose Elias was born. Now Daddy felt like a peacock. And of course, Mommy loved to see him happy. She loved to see him happy so much that they had another girl, Eunice. Times became hard, and they had no choice but to seek out the American dream and move to the USA. Mommy was heartbroken because she had to leave the children and the care of her sister, Carmen, Vito. They held many jobs before they could financially afford to have their kids brought to live with them. In 1969, their baby, Elio, was born, which completed their family. Mommy worked in a cannery for many years. Since she did not drive, she would pay a raitera, a carpool, to pick her up and drop her off every day. She decided that it was too expensive this way, so seeking all of her bravery, she learned to drive. The very first day that she drove, she had to spin out on the Vincent Thomas Bridge. First and last time she sat behind the steering wheel. Being such a large family, it made it hard to get everything each child wanted, but Bobby and Mommy made it up with love. Each Christmas Eve, Mommy made a ham dinner. Christmas Day, they found a way to afford to take their kids to Disneyland. And Mommy would make sandwiches from the leftover ham and pack it in the Polaroid case, but they didn't own a Polaroid. She was glad just to see her kids happy. Mommy always praised her kids, no matter how little an achievement was. She never spoke bad about anybody. She could always find beauty in the most significant things. You showed her something ugly, and she would find the beauty within it. Mommy was a very shy person, and when Papi became a minister, the thing she feared the most was to have to speak in front of an audience. On the other hand, that is the one thing Papi loves. He loves attention. So it is true that opposites do attract. Family was first to her. She lived for her family and would do anything for us. She loved us despite anything. She tended to us when we were sick, after we had surgeries, after we gave birth. She tended to our own children, her grandchildren, her great-grandchildren. She was there. If she was sick, we didn't know it most of the time because she didn't want to worry us, even though we went to her with all of our worries. She was the most stubborn woman we knew. We knew not to mess with Mommy. I envied the amount of energy she had because at my age, I don't even have half that amount. Mommy was very particular. Things had to be a certain way. Little things that didn't matter to many were very important to Mommy. For example, how the shower had to be cleaned. She hand-dried the shower walls and door every time she took a shower so that there wouldn't be water spots or soap scum. And if Papi went in there afterwards, he was in big trouble. There were so many little things that she did. Due to the times that she grew up in, Mommy did not believe in wasting food. She cooked a homemade meal every day, but she herself would be eating the leftovers from previous days. She couldn't stand to see food go to waste. I would do anything to see Mommy cut the mold off a piece of cheese or bread and still say, "Todavía está bueno." It's still good. She stole old bread in her freezer because she was always going to make bread pudding, but never got around to it. So the bread just got freezer-burnt. We had to throw away food without her knowledge. In her eyes, everything was reusable, such as the plastic cups from parties. You could catch Mommy washing all of them by hand to use them again for the next event. We always told her it defeated the purpose of buying plastic cups, but you couldn't reason with Mommy. The same with utensils, butter containers, and jars. Tupperware? No such thing existed as long as butter containers were around. Mommy was Mommy to 5 children, 4 in-laws, 12 grandchildren, and 13 great-grandchildren. Don't let her short stature fool you. She was a firecracker. She was the glue to this family, the backbone, the soul, and the boss. She taught us that there were no brains like our own family, something she learned as a child. Mommy was our best friend, our confidant. We could tell her anything, and if we didn't, she would find out one way or another. No matter what road we went down, she supported us, never ever put us down. Always saw the positive in us. She never spoke badly about anybody, and never made us turn against one another. On the contrary, she encouraged us to put our differences aside and to love one another. She loved life and lived it to the fullest. Therefore, it was heartbreaking to see the last 2 weeks of her life in those conditions. This wasn't the Mommy that we were accustomed to. And that is not the Mommy we are choosing to remember. The Mommy we are choosing to remember overcame obstacles, expectations, and always had the last word. Such as when the doctors informed us, once removed from life support, she would pass within a few hours. She strongly held on for 88 hours, surprising even the doctors. That was our Mommy. Those were the longest 88 hours in all of our lives. We continuously stayed at her bedside and pondered how and when would be that last moment. Little did we know that she would wait until the moment that we were distracted and laughing amongst ourselves to take that last quiet For the last time, Mommy had her way. By not leaving when we said she could, but by leaving when she wanted to.
Yes.
Mommy, thank you for being the wonderful person that you were. No woman will ever compare to you. You will always be the queen of our hearts. And we will make sure that your legacy lives on within our family. We will love and remember you forever. With that being said, this is not goodbye. But see you later, Mommy.